Hello, welcome to CoderinMe. This is Saif. Uh, Today we will discuss the same thing that we have discussed in the last video using web services and call out using APIs. In this video, I will just give you one example of REST API, and what I will do, I will just call an Google API, and that Google API will give me the address. Okay, so first of all, we will check that how the API is coming or anything else, and what is the basically in this example I will tell you what should you care about the REST APIs and all that. Okay, so in this picture, as you have already yeah, you can see that in this picture you can see about that, and we will talk also. So this is my anonymous window, and in that window I will use this code. I will execute it, and then you can see that, sorry, something is not good. So here it is saying variable does not get body, that is not exist and all that, blah blah blah. So maybe the issue is with something. Okay, so I will tell you how. So we can check that in the anonymous window. We were in anonymous window. You can see here. Yeah. So if I will execute it, it will give me something that is using API. So we will show you what that is exactly. So what I am passing here, I am calling an API that is you can say that is Google Map API. I am passing an API, and in that API I am passing latitude and longitude of that of some address, latitude and longitude of some address, and when I am calling it using API, after some operations and the response I get, we know the address of that the address is the Pamardi block, sector 2, Noida. Okay, so that's how we can exactly know that how it will execute. So first of all, let us learn that what exactly I am going here. So this is the, I have already uh, seen you or told you that if you want to execute any REST API call, what you have to do, or any call, any API's call or request, that is web services or API call out, you will need three things. The first one is HTTP, that is the class HTTP class. The second one is HTTP request, in which you will send the request. In that request, the URL will be there, the body will be there, the header will be there, and you can say the method will be there. And exactly this is what I can see here, that after that we can find the third one, that is HTTP response, and this is for response, that anything that we will send the request, that will be getting in response, and we can check that it is uh, you can say it is successful or it is not successful, like that. So this is something that we are working on. So here we can see that uh, first of all I have created an HTTPH. This is only the H, you don't have to, yeah, you can say HT. Okay, so this is the variable, and then HTTP request. So I have to bind this URL. Okay, now this is the key that we have to use it. So I will use it like that also. This is the key, suppose. Okay, this is the key, so I can use it like that also. That, okay, this is the key. Okay, and then this is the URL that we want to hit, that is maps.googleapis.com/this, and this is the API key that is necessary, that is authorization token that I have get from here. You can use it. Get API, Google API key, Google Map, like that. Get API key. So you can find it like that also. This is, and here if we will click it, get a key, then we will get this key. So I'm using this key, that is latitude and longitude separated by comma, and the sensor is equal to true. Then after that I am using the endpoint as a URL, request.set endpoint. So we will need this always, request.set endpoint. We will need also set method, that is get, post, put and delete. So I'm using post, or you can also use get also. So here we can use it. Okay, now the set header is key. We don't use it here because we don't need it, I guess. I can check using get also. Okay, now I am using request.set body. Here is no body, so we don't need it. In some cases in which we can send some body, we can use it. So here it is not needed, so I have omitted it. Now it is a response, HTTP response, and in that response, what we will use the HTTP variable st dot, the method name is send, and in that I will put the request. Okay, and this will give you the response that is stored in the HTTP response. Okay, now we will check that what is the status that I have already told you. There are some status we can find out like that, or CoderinMe also, that how, what type of status we have in that you can say web services. There are something that I want to tell you here. Some of them are written here, like 200, that is okay, this means it is connect success. Then 400, that is bad request, this means you are sending some data that is not at that type expecting. Then 500, that is internal server error. 403, no access. 404, wrong URL, like that. Okay, so we can do that also. So that's the status case. If it is 200, this means it is okay. Now what I am using some split method and all that. I will tell you how, and then I am using the system.debug. So we can check what exactly the response is. Okay, so when I am using this control V, see in the developer console, execute, sorry, get, it should be get, not get. So it will give me again the same thing, that is webpair mark and all that. Okay, so no problem at all on that. We can check it here, the same is there. Okay, then what I need, what I did, if we want to check that what exactly the response is, why I am doing this get body and split method and all that, if you want to check, then we can do one thing, system.debug and response.getBody. This is the method we can find it, the what is the response, and if you want to check the response, that we can use response.getBody. Okay, so now you can check the what is the actual response I was. So now if we are using checking that, so that you can check that this is the exact result, that webpair mark and all that, the number of things that is coming here. But what we need, we will need this exact address, that is webpair mark block sector 2 node at the purchase 201301. So there are one thing, that is JSON to Apex Serco app. Here you can use your response like this. You can use it also. So this is, we can use it and copy it here like this, and it will give you the exact API, exactly create Apex type thing like this. okay, and we can use that. So I will tell you that how it is, how it will look like. Okay. So here, as you can see, this is the exact classes. You can see here that in that classes, this class look like this. Okay, so we can, if we want to call this customer repayment schedule detailer visit, so how we will use also in that next example that how we can use JSON to FX Heroku. Okay, we will use it here. I don't use it, so this is the URL exactly. So here I didn't use it. Suppose this is the response. Suppose this is the whole is the response, but I need this, the full address. So what I did, I checked the, I split them by formatted address and this. Okay, and here it is formatted address and this. So I split it by this. This means in the first string, this is this there, and the second string we will save it from here to here. All that, but we will need this. So in the second string, in the second index, I split it again by this. And by this means I split it against by this. So right now in the string the value is this. So I use this. Now it is an string. Okay. So what is the use of this? Suppose I have a contact, and in that contact, so what we have first known that if I am calling this URL, so first of all we need to insert this URL into the remote setting. So first of all we will need the URL. Okay, so this is saved by this here, maps google apis.com. This is the URL. So we have to insert in the new remote site. If I will delete it, I will not use it. Suppose if I am deleting it, if I will delete it, now I will hit it, it will give me an error. Okay, yeah, let's give unauthorized endpoint. So for that purpose we will need Google Map, this API is and save it. Then we can call it. So now what I need, I have three fields. In the first field latitude is there, in the second field longitude is there, and I want to update it by getting address. Okay, so what we will need, we will need a trigger that if any latitude and longitude is changing, okay, and what this will need it, if any latitude and longitude is there, we will need an address. So for that purpose we will need an API. So here I will check if trigger is updated. Okay, trigger is updated. And here trigger is insert. Trigger is insert. I will call it. Okay. So what I did, I create a trigger after insert and after update. And in that update, if the latitude has changed, in the insert it will be the new, but in the update, if when latitude or longitude, one of it has changed, if it has changed, then I will call and class. I have already made a class that name is API map, and in that there is a method that is known as check map. So I have called the class name and then map, and in that I have passed the latitude, longitude, and the contact ID because I want. So I pass the contact ID, and in the insert I just call the API. And in that API, for the trigger, if you want to execute any API, REST API, you have to do in the method. You have to tell it that it is exactly the future callout equal to true. You have to use it. because without callout a trigger will not execute the API. Okay, so we will need that. And then in that API what I need, I have used a static, so you can use it statically. That's will be so much easy. Okay, and now why it's slow, so slow. I don't know. Please bear with me. It's so slow. I'm sorry for that. Grid map is there. Okay. So let's save it, and now it's saved. We can check it, edit. This is the exactly the latitude. I will if I change it, suppose you can see that I will clone it. So no need to and do some changes. I will clone it. Okay, new contact. And then save. Okay. Now I will save it. In the developer console, you can see that this is success future handler. That new contact is and the future handler will call using this feature. Okay. And now if I will refresh it, you can see the address is there. Okay. So suppose I'm from Alligator University. Okay. That latitude and that longitude I'm changing. Suppose and I want to know the latitude and longitude. So suppose this is the latitude and longitude. So this and then this. What exactly will happen? So now this is saved. Now I will refresh it because maybe the yeah feature handler has called already. So as I will update it, now we can say now it is AMU campus the legal header for this. So this is by the way this is calling like this. Okay. So here you can see that that is exactly happening here, and because REST API is totally based on you know that it is totally based on some other services, that is you are using some third party type thing. So for that purpose we just need to be sure that exactly what is the status, what is the thing, how much, how it will somehow maybe it will fail or something like that. So for that purpose what I did, for precaution, that we always make an API log, that some whenever the API is hitting, whenever API is calling, we will use a log that, oh, okay, it is success or not, it is success or error. So I have already used an HTTP request type name object, and in that I mean that what is the request API, name of API, or you can use it that what is actually the request you are calling, and then in the response I am using this, and in the status what is the exact status I'm calling it. So every time I have called the API, you can see that this is a request I am getting. Okay, so this is result, and now the last one was this 35 send or everything like that. Okay, so we can check it, okay, that it's working or it's not, or it has some error like that. So we can check it like that. So it will be good for our API handling. So this was the first example using Google Map API. You can find the related, all the you can say all the code, related code, you can find it on my website, that is website is CoderinMe.com, and it will be the second part. In that you can find the code, the trigger, and all that stuff. Okay, so thank you for watching, and as you know that this is Saf from CoderinMe, and you have to follow the YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter also, so you can use this API. Okay, and please follow there also. Watch more videos, subscribe it, and share it, please. If you want to learn Salesforce, if you want to know for your friend that okay, this is the good video, so please share it, watch, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. This is Saf from Codering.